What's up, guys? I wanted to give you a review of the Stubby axle from Rogue. We kind of got a lot of little Rogue equipment in here, and I thought I'd kind of break some of them down into smaller chunks in case anyone wants to know anything about just specific things. So here's the Stubby axle, 5 feet long, 1.9 inch diameter, 43 inches between the collars, and 20 pounds. I think it's 95 bucks on Rogue, so it's not bad for an extra bar to have around. What I use this for primarily is for shoulder presses and like curls. I don't do a lot of strongman clean and pulls with it or anything. I mean, every now and then I've done it, but it's just not part of my normal rotation. So the reason I use this for shoulder presses is because the increased surface area in your hand. So when you do a shoulder press, you know, if everybody doing presses, standing press or seated, what happens is here, you know, I'm trying to show, is the bar is smaller, so it rolls back in your hand and your wrist starts to break back like that. So as you push up, it's really hard to maintain here. You end up doing this thing, and I know this is weird with the camera, but bear with me. You roll back, and everybody knows that that's kind of what happens. So the smaller bar, it ends up putting a lot of strain on your wrist. Well, the Rogue bar, because it's so big, it doesn't roll back in your hand. So the surface area is so big, your hand won't naturally fall back like that, and so it keeps your hand in a more comfortable position, and it's just easier on your wrists. So I'm a 6'2" guy, so I might have normal size hands. This is how big it sits in your hand. You know, if you want to know, just grab your collars on your normal bar. You know, and that's how big it's going to be. It's the same as a normal collar. Obviously, collars don't spin, so as you move the weight, the weight's going to turn with the bar a lot, especially if you have rubber weights. You know, the metal ones, the bumpers like we have there, those turn. You know, the metal inserts are still pretty slick, and so they'll turn. So it's not near as bad. But if you have rubber weights, they're not going to move. The other thing, so those are the good things about it. You know, you can do a lot with it. The buyer beware things that I would change, or if I were Rogue and I had to redo this bar, here's what I would do. First of all, I wouldn't go 5 feet. I'd go 5.5 feet, because these are, well, your frame is 43 inches in between collars, or in between J-cups. So if you notice, if I move the bar J-cup to J-cup, you got 43 inches there. So I would add 6 inches to where the collars are and move them outside of the J-cups. And the reason is 3 inches on each side. The reason is if you wanted to load weight on this bar with it on your rack, you actually can't do it easily. You know, if I slide weight on here, look at what happens. So what you have to do to get weight on this bar is I put weight, you know, kind of get weight on both sides, and then what I end up doing, actually I don't put weight on for this side. I end up having to move this down a lot, like this, and then I lift it, and it's going to be hard to show, but I'll lift the bar. Hold on, bear with me. That's why I got 5-pound weights out. So I lift the bar and I end up doing that. And so it makes it a pain to stack weight on it if you're using your rack, you know, just out of convenience. Adding 6 inches to the middle where the collars would be a little further out, making the bar 6 inches longer, would actually make that much easier. So it seems like a small change that would have a big effect with this bar. The other thing the only other real complaints are that it's not knurled at all. It's not even slightly knurled. So it's very slick. It's slick. So as you can see, it's got a ton of chalk on it, because you have to have some chalk on your hands to be able to manage it. And the last thing about it is there's no center lines. There's no lines to show you where to grab. So it's one smooth bar. Having an indented line like you do on a normal bar would be really nice. So that's it. It's still a good bar. If anyone if you have any questions on it, let me know. I'll gladly help you out. But I enjoy it. I still use it. Like I said, for 2 primary exercises, and for $100, it's worth having. But it's a 4-star thing right now. It could be a 5-star with a couple of changes. Appreciate it. Take care.